The next day when we went, nothing but grippers we caught. So you see, the water I was depending on, no garbage was inside. That's how life goes.
The water where you handle, no cafe is up on the pot up and up near your hustle. You can catch the gripper. The water where you handle, no cafe is up on the pot up and up near your hustle. You can catch the gripper.
The water where you handle, no.
And so, good afternoon to all of you, our viewers. We want to say thank you so much for being here. It's my pleasure to be on this platform, and I want to appreciate the management for affording me the opportunity to appear on the platform. This is my debunked appearance. This is my first appearance, and I want to appreciate all of you who continue to follow the BKS TV. Thank you. And as we begin the program today, the program Educational Talk, and I would like to urge all of you to be a part, to join me today and every Monday at about this time we'll be live to talk about issues that matter to education in our country. You know, every man has his area. My area is education. Others have the area to be politics. Others have the area to be nursing. But my area is education. This is where my hand can fit, and this is where I have my clothes. So today, we're going to be talking about issues that matter to education. We're going to talk about educational matter today. I want to say welcome to all of you. Please be with us as we go through. My name is Augustine Dan. I'm honored to be here. This is our first edition of Educational Talk. As time goes on, we'll be inviting guests. We will be inviting educational stakeholders. We'll be inviting parents. We'll be talking to students. We'll be talking to school authorities. We'll be talking to EOs, that is the CEOs in the DOs in our county and our country. We're going to be inviting them to be a part of the platform. And so this first edition is basically about introducing the program. And so basically we're going to introduce the program today to tell you what the program is about and why the program is introduced and what we will be doing here every Monday at about this time. Again, my name is Augustine Dan. My name is G. Augustine Dan. This is Educational Talk on BKS TV. It's an honor to be here on the first edition of the program Educational Talk. On the first edition of Educational Talk, this program was basically introduced by the management of BKS TV for us to discuss about our country's education sector. You know, this is the sector where we find ourselves, and with our experience over the time, it matters to us, it's of paramount concern to us to talk about our country's education system, focusing basically on the challenges our school system faces and what can we do as a nation. You know, all of us have blamed this, all of us have criticized our education system, especially when it comes to the output. And all of us have had something to say about our school system. Everybody has had something to say about the school system. Like the former president, Manani Justice Ali, remember during 2013 Nation Address said, our entire system was a mess and it needs a complete overhaul. You out there as a Liberian have a say. There is a particular belief, there is a particular comment that you have to make about the school system. I, as a person, also have a comment to also make. In fact, there are some of us who even have comments, not just a comment. There are some of us who have comments to make about our education system because we believe that the system has not been able to perform over the years. The system has a lot of pitfalls, it has a lot of challenges. What we are going to be doing on this platform is to talk about the challenges our country's school system is faced with. And we will not only talk about the challenges, we will also suggest practical solutions, what we can do as a nation to come out of the mess we find ourselves in today. The former president said it was a mess. What can we do as a nation? When we identify the challenges, then we suggest practical solution, you know, to the problems we faced. And so today is the first edition. We are here every Monday at 4 to 5 o'clock p.m. Liberian time, and we're going to be talking about educational matter as the name of the program implies. We're going to be talking about educational matters. This platform, this program is not going to talk about anything political. This particular program is designed to dig out some of the ills, to unearth the ills in our school system, to talk about some happiness in our school system. All right, to talk about the happiness in our school system. So that I want to appreciate all of you out there that will follow us, all of our valued viewers. I want to say thank you for always having interest in what we do here on the BKS TV platform. Today, on the first edition of the program Educational Talk, our focus is going to be on the 2025-2026 academic year that the calendar has already been released by the Ministry of Education. Now, to get started, the 2025-2026 academic year has already been, the calendar has already been released by the Ministry of Education. It is out now. It is out now. And according to the academic calendar, today, September 1, begins the 2025-2026 academic year. Like I posted on my platform this morning, on my page this morning, today begins 2025-2026 academic year. But we observe that almost all of the schools out there is not a single school that started classes today. There is not a single school that started classes today. That goes to say schools are not prepared to start today. Parents are not prepared. School authorities are not prepared to begin the academic year today. Our focus will be on why we do not always meet up with the timetable the ministry puts out every academic year. Why is it that if the ministry says today school is opening, you find out that schools will not open? We believe something is wrong. And like a Liberian politician will always say, we cannot keep doing the same thing over and again, and then we expect ourselves to have different results. Let me tell you a few reasons why every time a timetable is put out by the Ministry of Education, it will not be followed, it will not be observed. And at the end of the day, we found authorities of the ministry going after school authorities, imposing fine on them. Now, I have made this recommendation to authorities of the ministry over and again, that the ministry involves school authorities and parents into developing the timetable for the academic year. I repeat, I have always recommended that the Ministry of Education involves school authorities. I'm talking about school owners, proprietors, school administrators, principals. Even if it is possible, we also involve the parents. Why is it important that we involve these people into preparing the academic calendar? There is something in school management called, if we do decision making in school management, you will find out that it is important you involve the people your decision will affect when you are making the decision. For example, if I am a school administrator and I'm making decision that will affect my students, it is important that I involve the students in making that decision. The reason why it is important to do that is they will know what is expected of them. When the students are involved into making decisions that will affect them, they will know the behavior that is expected of them. Now, if the Ministry of Education can involve school authorities, parents, into preparing the academic calendar of our school system, the parents and the school administrators will know what is expected of them, and they will prepare themselves to adhere to the timetable. Now, today, the first day, no school opened. Tomorrow, the second day, no school will open. Wednesday, the third day, no school will open. Thursday, the fourth day, no school will open. Friday, the fifth day, no school opens. The first week is out. If the first period, the first marking period of academic 2025-2026 is going for the duration of 35 school days, and the first week, which is 5 instructional days, or which has 5 instructional days, is out, you will find out that we will be against first period. I repeat that. If the first marking period is going for 35 instructional days, and the first week, which is this week, is out, which has 5 instructional days, you will find out that 35 out of 35 days, 5 days will always be out, and will be left with 30 days. As a result, what will happen is the students will be pushed against the works. School authorities will be pushed against the works. The third consequence of that is the students will not be able to absorb. The students will not be able to cover everything that they are required to cover for the first period. All right? That's what will happen. The students will not be able to cover everything they are to cover. The reason why that happens is the ministry aware of realities out there? Why did I say earlier the ministry should involve school authorities? The school authorities, the parents, are the ones who have the full responsibility to implement, to carry out the academic calendar. If we prepare the academic calendar and leave them out, automatically, when they are not prepared, as the case is now, parents are not prepared. If you go out there right now and ask parents, parents will tell you that they are not prepared financially to pay their children's school fees. Parents are not prepared now to register their children. School authorities are not also prepared, knowing for the world that most of our schools depend on, our schools in Liberia, especially the mission and faith-based schools, are not subsidized by government. They depend on the little fees parents pay to run the schools. They depend on the fees the parents pay to renovate their facilities. They depend on the fees the parents pay to buy instructional materials. as the case is now, parents are not raising their schools, that their children. Schools do not have money to renovate their facilities. Schools do not have money to even organize refresher workshop for their teachers. So the first week, which is this week, we are going to be out of the classroom. And at the end of the day, we find ourselves going against the first marking period. And once we go against the first marking period text, in fact, the first marking period, we will automatically go against the latter periods, that is second, third, fourth, and other periods, because we will enter, that is, if the first week is out, we are going to enter into the first week in the second period. And we enter in the first week of the second period, we'll also be entering the first week of the third period, and gradually you'll find out that the last period now, schools will not have enough time to teach the materials they're supposed to teach. This has been the case over the years, and we need to call the ministry to the attention so that we can be able to change this thing. So it is important that when the ministry is preparing the academic calendar, our EOs, the CEO, the county education officers, the district education officers, our parents, educational stakeholders, NGOs working in the education sector, these people input matter. Their inputs are important, to preparing and the ministry should see reason to include them when they are preparing the ministry, because we should not always sit at the guys should not sit at the national level. They should not sit at the office and do everything, and then they just impose it on those those down the line and expect us to implement it. So the ministry needs to involve school authorities in preparing the academic calendar. The academic calendar is out. Those of you who need a copy, I have a soft copy. I will make it available. You can get to us, and we're going to make a copy available for you, for your perusal. Another thing is we're going to be talking about is the issue of training, teacher education, which is one of the areas my institution is all about. Today there are 4 things we'll be talking about basically, and everything centers around the 2025-2026 academic year. Schools are about to open. Schools are opening. What's the quality of teachers schools are hiring? Those of us school authorities, those of us school owners, those of us school administrators, what's the quality of people we are bringing on board to teach in our schools this year? Do we care to know their experience? Do we care about bringing on board experienced people? Do we care about bringing on board trained people? Do we care about bringing on board people who have passion for the teaching profession? Or we only care about what parents pay to us, but we do not care about what we give to their children in return, in reciprocation of what they pay. This is something very serious. And to all of you, your parents, and I want to say this to all of you: don't just send your kids to any school. Don't just send your kids to any school. Before you send your kids to a school, parents, listen to this very well. Before you send your kids to school, there are a few things you need to inquire about the school. There are a few things you need to find out about the school. The first thing you need to find out about the school is, what does the school stand for? What values? What are the core values of the school? Find out about the core values of the school. Find out about the mission statement of the school. Find out about the vision statement of the school. Find out about the purposes of the school. Find out about the how do you call it, the 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 beliefs of the school. Also, make it your duty as a parent to find out about the quality of staff in a school that you want to send your kids. These things are very important. Most of our parents just go about sending our kids to school, and we don't care about knowing the vision, the mission, the core values, the beliefs, the philosophies of the schools we send our kids to. Listen, if you do Christian education, there are three agencies of Christian education. There are three agencies of Christian education. You have the first agency in Christian education is family. The second agency in Christian education is school. The third agency in Christian education is the church. These agencies work together in preparing the younger ones, in teaching the younger ones. The family, which is the first agency, lays the foundation of discipline. When the family lays the foundation, the school builds on the foundation the family lays. Then what the church does is the church spark up what foundation the family and the school lay. Today, our society is the way it is. Today, our society lacks moral values. Our society lacks moral values because these agencies have failed to carry out their mandates. In the family, there is no discipline. In the schools, there is no discipline. Even in the church, there is no discipline. Think about a child that does not receive any discipline in the family. Think about what a child will become. Think about a child that has not received any discipline in the family, in the school, and in the church. Think about what that child will become in the society. Think about the kind of member that child is going to become of a society. So you, the parents, it is very important that as we send our kids to these schools, we find out some basic things about them. The mission, the core values, the philosophy, the beliefs of these schools. Like I said to all of our school administrators, as we begin the 2025-2026 academic year, as we hire people to teach in our school systems, the number one thing we must take into consideration is the quality of the people that we bring on board. Because when you have quality people in your system, they will be able to provide quality education to the children. There is a singular reason why every parent sends his or her child to a particular school, and that singular reason is for that child to be able to receive quality education. The parents will feel disappointed if the schools they send their kids to provide nothing, absolutely nothing, sort of quality education. And that's the case. Now, one of the things we should also take into consideration as parents as we send our kids to this school, the physical environment. In fact, the environment. If you do a course called psychology of learning, there are different things that there are different things that constitute the environment of the child, the learning environment of the child. The teacher is part of the child's learning environment. The classmates are part of the child's learning environment. The classroom is also part of the child's learning environment. Peer group is also part. That is the kind of people the child goes up with. Is part of the child's learning environment. And the materials in the classroom, the physical outlook of the form part of the child's learning environment. And we, the parents, we are sending our kids because environment plays a major role in child's education. Environment can have impact on the child's education, whether positive or negative. It is important. So all of us school administrators, as we hire people this year, let's bring on board quality staff. Let's bring on board experienced people. Let's bring on board people who have passion for the teaching profession. I have said this to all of the teachers that we have trained over the years. There are two things that can keep you in the teaching profession. When you lack these two things, you will never be in the teaching profession. The first thing you need to be in the teaching profession is you need to be patient. 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 When you are not patient as a teacher, you will not be in a classroom. You need to be patient because the classroom you are going to has two groups of students. In the classroom, you have students who are physically challenged. You have students with learning disabilities. In the classroom, you also have the talented or the gifted ones. For you to be able to deal with students with learning disabilities, you need to be patient. Why? Because these people improvement is on a gradual basis. It will take time for them to improve in what you teach. It will take them time to catch up with what you teach them. It will take them time to grasp, to understand the lesson you teach them. It is important. So, if you are not patient, don't come to the teaching profession. If you are not patient, don't come to the teaching profession. Find something else to do. That's the first quality that we need. That's the first thing that we need as teachers. We need to be patient. The second thing we need that will also keep us in the teaching profession is we need to have passion for the teaching profession. Why we need passion? Passion will keep you in the teaching profession, even if what you are working for, even if the little you are working for is not coming on time. Passion will keep you in the teaching profession. Passion will keep you in the teaching profession when your effort is not recognized. Passion will keep you in the teaching profession when people do not appreciate your effort. Passion will keep you from there. Even if what you are working for is small, passion will also keep you there. I have said this to people over and again. If you take teaching from me, if you take teaching from me, I am not. If you take teaching in the gospel from me, I'm not in it. I'm not a person. And I thank God for giving me this kind of strong desire, for the professional practice. We've been there since 2011. This is our 14 years now in the teaching profession. One of the things that has kept me in the teaching profession is passion. Passion. As a young man, to be able to teach for 14 years now, I started teaching since my high school graduation in 2011. Immediately after my high school graduation, imagine I graduated in October 2011. The next year, in fact, the next month, which was September, in fact, I graduated in August. September 2011, I started teaching. 2011 up to now. Who told you all of these years have been easy? It hasn't been easy. In fact, the first school I started teaching in Ganta, I will not call the school name. How much was I making? Think about life in Ganta. I have just come from the interior. I needed house rent. I needed food. I needed to dress all of the time to appear decent before my students. I needed to wash clothes. There are other basic needs I needed to take care of at that time. So in 2011, when I started teaching, guess what I was making? I was paid on a monthly basis. I received $500 LD. 2011, I received $500. That was not actually what I was told to be paid with. My salary was more than that. But, you know, I don't know whether the school was not able to raise what they promised to give me or what. So at the end of the month, every month, they will give you 500, 600, 700, hold your heart. And I hold your heart, you will continue. In fact, since I was told to hold my heart, in 2011, I still holding my heart. The remaining salary has not come. Why am I talking about this? Passion will keep you in this profession. Even if what you are working for is little, or when what you are working for is not coming forth, passion will keep you there. So teachers, as we go to the classroom, we need those qualities. We need to be patient, and we need to have passion for the teaching profession. If you do not have these qualities, you will run away from the teaching profession, because the students you come to teach, they will insult you. They will do to you things that are not expected of them. In fact, they will not even appreciate your effort. You gotta be patient in working with them. You will teach a particular child that one lesson over and again. You will teach that child that one lesson 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week. That child will not pick up. You need to be patient in dealing with that child. All right. So that's my little thoughts to all of us as teachers as we begin the academic 2025-2026 academic year. I'm talking to, this is the first edition of Educational Talk on BKS TV. I thought of talking to all of the groups in the education sector. The next time we come now, we'll be having a particular focus point. Today, I'm talking to few groups I've identified as key actors in the education sector. The first group I talked to is the parent. And I told all of you parents, before you send your child to any school, find out about the school. Know what the school stands for. Know about the mission statement of the school. Know about the vision statement of the school. Know about the beliefs of the school. Know about the core values of the school. And even know about the physical environment. If possible, go to the school campus. Assess the physical environment of the school. It is important that you do these things as parents. Then the second group I taught to is a teacher. And I told you as a teacher to go to the classroom, there are qualities you need. The first quality is you must be patient. The second, you should have passion for the teaching profession. Let me come to the school authorities. To all of us school authorities, there are a few things I want to really tell you, the school authorities. Number one, to all of you school authorities, the 2025-2026 academic year is about to commence. In fact, has commenced. Let's visit the offices of the EOs and obtain for ourselves copies of the academic calendar. Let's visit the DO's offices, get copy of the revised national curriculum. Some of you school, most of the schools out there are still using the 2011 academic. In fact, most schools are still using the 2011 curriculum. That is outdated. We don't use in our curriculum ever since. We have the revised curriculum now. And most schools do not have the curriculum. What are we teaching if we do not have the curriculum? Because the curriculum is what we teach. That is, the materials we teach come from the curriculum. So if you run school as a school authority and you do not have the curriculum, then what do you teach the people children? What kind of education do you provide? So school authorities, let's go to the office of the EOs, get copies of the curriculum, get copies of textbooks that are aligned with the curriculum. Let's make sure that we also have some of the basic documents we need to run this academic year. Even the academic calendar, we also need it. Because one of the things I observed is that most schools cannot even have the academic calendar. They run their own government. I will come to talk to the EOs, and there are things I'll also be telling you, the EOs out there. So all of us school authorities, as we begin the academic year, let's make sure that some of these basic documents we need to run a successful academic year are obtained from the DO's office. The academic calendar, curriculum, textbooks. We need all of these materials to put ourselves. The second thing that I want us to take into consideration as we begin the school year, to all of you school administrators, let's consider the quality of people we hire, the quality of people we bring on board. Mind you, when you are not careful about the people you bring to your system, they will pollute your system, and at the end of the day, you will regret. They will pollute your system. When you are not careful, there are certain people you bring on board to teach your schools. They damage your schools. They damage your school. So be careful with the kind of people you bring on board. There are some guys out there who do not have character, who do not have moral values, who lack moral values. These guys are passing around from school to school, messing up the system. You gotta be careful. That's why for my institution, the ASIDA school system, we are developing a very strong school system in Liberia. To teach the ASIDA school system, the first thing you apply. When you apply, we got different ways we interview. You will go through oral interview, you will go through written interview. When you pass, before we hire you, we will give you, in fact, when you apply, the first thing we'll do is, when you apply to our schools, the first thing we'll do is we give you our staff policy manual, you read it. When you apply, we give you our staff policy manual, you read it. The staff policy manual contains basic things about the school. Inside the staff policy manual, there are your do's and don'ts. The staff policy manual contains your do's and your don'ts. The reason why, the moment you apply, we give you that is you need to know the school that you are applying, the school kind of system you're going to work with. So let's take into consideration the value, the kind of people that we bring into our school system. It's very important. It is very important. And then to all of you, the school authorities, the third thing I want to bring to your attention is the welfare of the people that you work with. Most of us are literally wicked. Most of us school authorities are literally wicked. There are people teaching our schools. We give them little or nothing. Amen. We give them little or nothing. Somebody is teaching daycare. The person works from 8 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock. You pay the person 4,000. You pay the person 5,000. How much for a 25 kg rice now? 3,000. So if somebody is teaching your daycare and the person works for 8 hours from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and you pay the person 5,000, for example, this person pays his or way to come and go home. This person has children. This person has kids to take care of. The person has other basic needs. This is one thing that is encouraging bribery into our education sector. Most of our school authorities do not take care of the people that we hire to teach our schools. But thank God for the Asida school system. My school system, you have gross salary, you have transportation allowance, and you have communication allowance. We are trusting God that in the future, when my school grows, we are even going to have housing units constructed for our staff. Okay, we pay a high school. We pay our daycare teacher gross salary $10,000, $5,000 transportation allowance, $5 squash car communication allowance. So at the end of the day, you find out that the person is working away $15,000 with $5 squash car. How many of the schools around there, especially the Ganta, we find ourselves? The highest salary for daycare teacher in Ganta is 8,000, 9,000. Let's muster the courage. Let's add value. School authorities, let's add value to the profession by taking care of the people that work with us. Star welfare. We even have dinner. And one of the things we're introducing this year, star welfare is key. And I always tell school administrators, if you want to have the best school, there are three things you need to focus on. Number one, star welfare. Number two, staff development. And number three, infrastructural development. Now, as we speak, I'm in Monrovia with my staff, and we are going through a 1 week training. We have to spend thousands of dollars to transport our staff from Ganta to come to Monrovia to go through 1 week training. Why? Because when these people are trained and they are capacitated, they will provide quality education, and that's how the school will grow. So, school administrators, let's focus on improving our staff welfare. Let's focus on improving our infrastructure. Let's send our teachers out there for trainings. Let's send our teachers for training. All right. Let's pay our teachers on time. That falls under the staff welfare. Like for Asida school system, we pay our staff on the 15th of every month beginning this academic year. We are going to pay our staff on the 15th of every month with your gross salary, your transportation allowance, and communication allowance. And as we grow, different things will be introduced. And the reason why we're doing all of these things is to improve our staff welfare. So, school administrators, let's take all of these things into consideration as we begin the 2025-2026 academic year. And the next group, I also stay with the school administrators. Let's make sure that our teachers are trained, like I said earlier. Let's make sure they prepare their lesson plans. Let's make sure, and we should not only ask them to prepare lesson plans, we should make sure that whatever lesson they plan, we inspect their lesson plans, follow them to the classroom, and make sure that they teach what they plan. There are teachers who plan something different and they teach something different. Let's make sure that all of these things are put in place. The next group I want to talk to are the students. As we begin this academic year, you need to take your education serious. Take your education serious. Don't join the crowd. Add value on your education. Focus on your education. Report malpractices. Report teachers' misconducts. If a male teachers you know, makes a law proposal to you. For example, if a male teacher expresses desire, you know, in a Liberian context, we say when they approach you, you got a male teacher that is teaching you, and the guy said they want to go out with you. You gotta report them. Report them to the school authority. If they don't take any action, report them to the DO office. That's why every school needs a copy of the code of conduct, because that's all one of the things my school system is strongly against. Is what I'm talking about. If you come to my school as a male teacher and you love to the people daughters, the policy says we'll dismiss you and publish your name on all of our platforms. So that's why when you apply, the first thing is we give you our staff policy manual. When you read it, we'll give you a form and you fill in the form and you affix your signature that you have gone through our policy manual and you have acquainted yourself with all of its interests, so that when you breach any of the provisions and we take an action against you, you will not hold us responsible. Let's do our best this year. The next and last one we'll talk to the EOs. To all of you, our CEOs, to all of you, our DOs, the school year is about to begin. Let's monitor the activities of these schools. We should not sit down in the office and we think all is well. There are too many things happening out there. Let's go out. Let's visit these schools. Go and visit these schools. Go and visit these schools. There are schools that are not up to standard, and you know about them. These schools are existing. There are schools that have high school dropouts teaching. You know about these schools. There are schools that have high school graduate teaching. You know about them. And you know it is not supposed to be so. The minimum teaching credential is C certificate. And one of the mistakes we school authorities make is that some of the guys are not trained who are the high school graduates drop. In fact, the high school graduates, we take them and we put them at the lower levels. We put them at the early childhood level. This is one serious mistake we are making. That's why people come out of universities in Liberia, people come out of high schools with poor output. Their outputs are poor. They don't pronounce, they don't read, they don't write, they don't spell. Why? They didn't have any foundation. So if you take a high school graduate and put them to teach ABC, child at the nursery kindergarten level, what kind of education is that high school? How experienced is that high school graduate? So all of you, the EOs, go out. Weed these guys out of the system. Go out, weed them out. Those in the school system that are not trained, go after them. Let them go for training. There are teacher training programs, there are teacher training colleges all around the place. Some years ago, people left Nima, for example, and went all the way to Zozo, for example, for training. Right there in Ganta, you have Asida Teacher Training Institute. Right there in Ganta, you have La Coses. Right there in Ganta, you have other institutions that are providing teacher education. Take advantage. Take advantage. Let's make sure that we have quality teachers in the classroom. Let's make sure that we have trained teachers in the classroom. Let's make sure we have trained teachers in the classroom. All right? Let's make sure we have trained teachers in the classroom. The school year is about to begin. Let's do our best. We have mocked for too long. We have criticized our system for so long. You know, we have criticized our school system for so long. Everybody has had something to say about the school system. But I think it is not late. We can begin improving the system from here. To improve the system, we must identify what our challenges are. And those things are just talked about are those things I think are challenging our school system. Let's make sure that we do our best as we begin the 2025-2026 academic year. I want to say thank you so much for the first edition of Educational Talk. I'm finding a co-host. I'm trusting God by the grace of God. Next edition, we are going to have a co-host that will appear on the platform, and we both are going to be discussing some happenings in our school system. And every edition, there will be a particular topic. Like for today's edition, which is the first edition, our focus was on the 2025-2026 academic year. So the next edition, we're going to talk about some things. And before that, we're going to publish our topic. And I also want to say thanks to all of you out there for following. Thanks to the management of BKS TV for creating this space for us to come and talk to our school authorities, to come and talk to the government, to come and talk to the parents, to come and talk to our students. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. Nobody can improve our school system. Nobody. No Ghanaian, no Sierra Leonean, no Nigerian can improve our school system. Only you, only me, can improve our school system. Let's do what we can to improve our school system. That we can have a better school system. I want to say thank you so much for following. Thank you for being a part of the first edition. Next Monday at 4 o'clock p.m. Liberian time, we are going to be back to talk more. Thank you so much. On behalf of the entire team at BKS TV, my name is G. Augustine Dine. I am your host for the program Educational Talk. Thank you. Keep following us all of the time and stay blessed.
The water where you had no cafe inside. But the